Sup fella, Bluetooth receivers are pretty arguable devices. Frankly, do many people nowadays wanna exchange their wired headphones to wired headphones plugged to an additional little box? Especially when you can buy decent TWS for a nice price. The story is fair and square, but it doesn't mean that we have to take it as the only way. FiiO BTR5 proves that such devices can still be on top. Welcome to Tech Fellas, my name is Bogdan, and let's tech into it. On the outside, it is basically a compact rectangular brick made of aluminum and glass that can easily fit inside of your jeans watch pocket. The body has a Type-C port for power supply and USB DAC mode, and two analog outputs that are 3.5 headphone jack and 2.5 balanced one. A bit of specs. On the 32 ohm load, the standard jack gives 80 mW and the current amplitude at 1.6 volt. Respectively, with the balanced one, we get 240 mW and 2.8 volt. Why am I so hyped? Because these numbers mean that Bluetooth receiver is already more powerful than FiiO M9, that is a complete audio player. And this is the reason why BTR5 is a worth buying product. Other specs telling us how low a distortion and noise levels so you can swagger with decibels can be easily found on FiiO official website. Back to its body build. On the right side there is a volume rocker, play button and the power key. These three control units bear so many functions that it might be hard to figure them out without some bottle of liquid courage. But don't worry, you'll get used to it. What we'd like to highlight more is a small-sized OLED screen with not the brightest backlight, but still with access to the most important settings, especially if your source doesn't allow installing any apps. However, if it has a screen and knows how to deal with third-party software, you should install FiiO Control app. It is more or less user-friendly, with lots of settings, and frankly, it's more convenient to adjust them on a normal screen, and not on the receiver's built-in miniature one. If you have an eagle eye, for sure you've already noticed the NFC icon on the front panel. Yes, I also thought at first that it will be possible to pay with it for such a vital bottle of magic liquid. Unfortunately, it's not, but at least you can quickly and easily connect to a smartphone. There is a microphone in here, but I can't call it a good one. I didn't enjoy the way of how the sound is transmitted. The voice had robotic buzzing, but I must admit that I heard every single word while being on the other side of the line. The responsible one for Bluetooth data exchange is a cheap Qualcomm CSR8675. Honestly, this doesn't make our life easier. When using different codecs that increase the sound quality, the working distance is just as bad as in TWS headphones, which is 5 meters in a straight line and 3 to 4 with obstacles between source and the receiver. Choosing SBC instead of a common DAC doesn't change the situation much. In general, this device really likes to keep it closer to a smartphone, so wandering around the apartment without a source in your pocket will not work. Continuing about codecs, what I found useful is aptX low latency that many travel and movie lovers will appreciate, and the support of basically anything but UAT, for instance. Another experience sharing is about USB DAC mode that works without strong lagging. In the case of movies, delay is insignificant. However, I wouldn't do video editing with such a setup. For instance, when pairing with MacBook Pro, there is a minimal lag that may cause failure while doing voice synchronization. When using wired connection, the receiver has DSD256 or PCM encoding that supports sampling rate of 384 kHz and a bit depth of 32 bit. It is clear that most people will not use this potential, but still, I want you to know that. The sound processing comes from two DAC and AMP combos named ESS Sabre ES9218P. By the way, it is basis for HEDI's AP80 and tons of other different audio devices. To assist this popular piece of hardware, there is some witty FPGA that, together with two frequency generators at 45.1584 MHz and 49.152 MHz, must ensure the correct conversion of binary code to analog signal. What for is all that in the receiver is a mystery to me, because interference and damage of data packages transmitted wirelessly cause a significantly more tangible effect on the sound than the sapling frequency distortions. A pity that manufacturers recently started to give their attention to the LUT one, but not the wireless connection that is getting more popular day by day. Let's just not forget what high-end is all about. They need to be flawless even at places where nobody is seeing it, or hearing it in our case. Before my favorite audio topic, a few words about the battery life. On paper, it is 9 hours, but this is the case when it's almost impossible to obtain specific and reliable numbers. Everything very much depends on the gain settings, headphones, codec choice, and many more. We tested earbuds with 13 ohm impedance and 109 decibels sensitivity at about the average loudness using LDAC. In the end, the receiver gave 10% more time than it was declared. If you connect something heavy with a balanced output, it will surely discharge faster. Now it's time for some audiophile madness. I like the sound quality here. BTR5 plays without obvious distortions or sharp cuts in frequency response. The sound is not dry but melodic and tasty, with a beautiful sound stage. It seems that low frequencies are so deep and the highs are extended to the maximum of what Bluetooth can offer. I like that way, cause many people will use exactly this as the main connection. After all, USB DAC mode is included as a backup function. So the bass is not loose but softened a bit. Like everything else, the mids are pleasing with details. Regarding the scene, BTR5 draws it mostly in width. In any case, this is what we felt on most tracks. Treble is sometimes a little biting. The key word is a little, because even when using sharp hybrids or balanced armature earbuds, the highs don't eat your brains or make your teeth rattle. If your headphones are soft with highs, there will be no problems at all. The main part is done. But here's more. By far the first time ever on our channel we are comparing such devices. Let's start with BTR3. It is smaller and has a clip built into its body, but as for the rest, the receiver is noticeably worse. The power on the output is 3 times lower than in the 5th model when using standard 3.5 jack. As for details in sound, I've cut the difference in the first 30 seconds of listening to some common non-audiophile track. There is no cunning reflection of soundstage, the highs are noticeably weaker, and there are a lot of questions to their quality. Again, comparing with BTR5, of course. The next one we've got is Shanling UP4, built on the same hardware as BTR5. It's physically wider, but lower in height. It has multifunctional volume wheel, less power, and the traditional Shanling straightforward manner of playing sound. It's not bad, but too much of a straightforward and simplicity, without any special flavor. The sound is more sharp, but less melodic. The scene is more narrow. Summarizing the stuff, if you wanna make wireless earphones out of your expensive wired ones, FiiO BTR5 is the thing that you should look for in the first place. It is compact, nice sounding with all possible codecs, long battery life, and once again, fancy melodic sound. I can definitely recommend it for buying. In the description box below you can find the links to the internet store so you can do that. And if you like this video, then why not to support our channel by subscribing to it, hitting the like button and ringing the bell to stay tuned for more cool content. My thanks for watching and cheers!